Hello, my name is Sulwan Ahmed. I am originally from Sudan, but home for me has become Portland, Maine. I came to Portland, Maine as a refugee in 2003. So I was a bit of a baby. I'm only 22 years old now. And so I don't remember much of the journey, but I know that my family was in Gadaref. I was born in Eastern Sudan, Gadaref. And my dad went to Egypt when the genocide broke out because he was exiled from the country. And so he was in Egypt processing the papers to seek refuge in a country outside of Sudan. And then we were granted refugee status in Portland, Maine. And at the time, there was an influx of Darfurian Sudanese refugees who came to the United States and stayed in Portland, Maine. Actually, Portland is home to the largest Darfuri demographic outside of Sudan, and I think the largest Sudanese community in the US right now.
Hello everyone, my name is Mazin Ahmed. I was originally born in Sudan, in Wad Madani, around 24 years ago. But then I moved to Qatar, in Doha, lived there for like 14 years because my dad was a professional soccer player there and he worked for the military, so my mom moved with him and took me with them, and then both my siblings were born there. Around 2012, we decided to come here to Maine and to seek asylum actually. And we came from Qatar directly to Maine because my auntie lives here. And I had to start filling out all the paperwork and translations at like 14. And I still do it and I'm 24 now, so it's been part of my routine. The journey I think the journey is still going because, for example, as an asylum seeker, it doesn't end until you're a citizen. And you go in, all you get is your work permit and then like a protective status that you renew every couple of years, and then you hope for a court date or like an interview, you get your citizenship like 4 years after that. But for our case, we got our interview around 2017 and we went there and the guy was like, you know what, I can give it to you, but I don't know anything about Qatar, so I just send it to a judge. So he sent us to a judge and then it was transferred 3 times to 3 different locations, not locations, but 3 different times throughout the years. And then eventually 2019, we got our acceptance. And a year later, we were supposed to get the green cards and stuff, but COVID hit 2020. So we just have our like permanent residency, which is still the same thing. So I would say my journey is still going as an American. I do not like the cold at all in Maine, but I like the vibrance and the flamboyancy of the environment and the people. It's a big community. I don't see it as a state, I see it as its own private island, you know, where everybody has like the same motivation to this and that, and everyone's friendly and nice, so it's pretty cool.
In terms of like Portland, Westbrook, the greater metropolitan area, it's a beautiful community. I feel like the community has really created what Maine is today, from working jobs to just the culture, diversifying Portland, and a lot of that isn't acknowledged, but I think we acknowledge it within the community. And I mean, I love the people I grew up with, people I went to high school with, always motivating me to do better, and consistently being my inspiration, because again, like, our parents sacrificed so much for us to get here, alhamdulillah, and so it's the least we can do for ourselves, for them, and the community.
So as you meet people and you meet the communities and stuff like that, you grow to like understand who you are, your identity, and then fight for your identity for a lot of racial causes and like justice causes and stuff like that. So knowing who you are has been my biggest struggle, but as time went by, and you know, I'm getting old now, so I've learned to like myself and understand who I am and why I'm doing this.
I think when you come here as an immigrant and refugee, you deal with, again, a lot of culture shock and imposter syndrome, and navigating these systems where they're created for us, but they don't accommodate us because we weren't involved in the process of making them.
Whatever I do, because I have not chosen my exact profession yet, but whatever profession I get, the only concern I have in my mind is I'm not just doing it for myself, because the community that brought me up, my family, my friends, because if I just do it for myself and then just move out the hood, for example, and just go, that's just me being selfish. So I have to acknowledge that I did not do this alone. I did this with the people and the community behind me. You have to give back to the community, no matter what. Because I feel like that's what a leader is. No matter who you are, what you're doing, where you are, you need to just understand that you're not just doing it for yourself.
Like the saying goes, it takes a community to raise a child. So when you are doing something, you're not only doing it for yourself, because there are elements of the community that exist within you. And so when you do something, you're obviously going to be doing it for that community too. And it's best to make sure that it's not for selfish reasons why you're doing what you're doing. We got it as long as we got each other. So
yeah, be yourself, no matter what it is. Be yourself. Because a lot of people come in here and they have their own little personality that they've had, and then they move into a new place. Everything's just gone because they feel like they need to let go of it to assimilate with people. But that's not gonna help you grow in a lot of ways. So if you stay true to yourself, not for everyone, but for your own self, for your own good, you're gonna prosper in a lot of ways. You're gonna see yourself being more open to a lot of ideas, a lot of opportunities, a lot of fun things. Maybe play sports, activities, pick up new hobbies, new talents, meet new friends. So as long as you're being yourself, you're gonna be amazing.
I agree. And also, don't let the words of community impact your perspective of yourself and the people you're around. Growing up in like an African community, there's gossip obviously that goes around all the time, kalam, and it really does impact your relationship with people. And I don't think like our parents understood how much it impacted us like as kids and developing the necessary relationships we need with people in our community. So like I've had this conversation with like my mom, even my aunties, like we need to do better, not only for us, it's not us anymore, it's like the younger kids who need each other.